It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree? Yes. You are knowing what you are wanting. It doesn't stand still, though, does it? That desire just keeps moving around. Are you appreciating the fact that this environment does evoke desire from you? Do you at least accept that that desire is the beginning of the summoning of creation, and so it is a good thing that you do desire? And so then, is it logical, if it is in fact a good thing that desire exists? Have we agreed on that? Yes. Is desire a good thing? Yes. Well, what about if you have something that you want and it doesn't come? Then is desire still a good thing? Yes. You're very smart. There are many who don't know that, or they will argue about it. They will say, if my standards were not so high, then I could not be disappointed. So, if I could just find a way to keep my standards low, if I don't expect excellence from anyone, then when I don't get it, which I don't, I won't feel so bad. But if I expect excellence, and then they behave as they always do, true to my expectation, then I suffer. So I'm just going to lower my standards. And we say, good luck with that one. Because the entire universe is queued up with you as a central player in creation to extract from every environment your preference. So even if you can't control your own expectation, you are a slave to what you observe. And since you can't control the behaviors of others, so you're stuck with what you observe. Even if that is true, still that contrast is causing you to expand. So what happens is, you get caught between two worlds. You get caught between the vibrational world of expansion that is the eternal part of you that never ceases to become, and whatever you are able to accomplish through your focus here in this physical body. What we're saying to you is, if life causes new desires, sharper desires, more definitive desires, more intricate desires, more precise desires, if life, and it always does, continues to produce more desire within you, then the larger part of you rides that rocket of desire and vibrationally becomes it. It is the epitome of what pre-paving is. It is what happens in all creation. First there is thought, and once there is thought that is aligned to a sufficient degree, there is manifestation. Everything that you see around you is just like that. So everything that is happening to you, everything that you see in your own experience or in the experiences of others, everything that you see happening is an indication of the vibrational frequencies that you are emitting. The thing that is most interesting about this is that life keeps causing you to expand, which means the larger part of you emits a vibration that matches that expansion. Do you understand what we mean? And many say, no, that's not possible. It's not who I am. If it's there to look at, I'm going to look at it. And we say, that's just lazy. You can direct your thoughts more specifically if you want to. Once you understand that you are source energy and that you came forth deliberately intending to explore the contrast, and that you knew that the contrast would cause much expansion within you, and you knew that it would be logical, that the expansion would happen and that you might not be able to keep up with it all at once, but at least you knew that your work was to turn in the direction of your desire. And that's really all that we're talking about all day, every day. Law of attraction is a powerful law that responds to every vibrational offering. And law of attraction manages the vibrational offerings and brings together those things that are of like vibration. So if you've got a problem with something and you turn your attention to it frequently and you activate it in your vibration until it's really easy to keep alive in your vibration, in other words, it's a belief that you keep active, what happens is law of attraction will continue to bring to you things like that. But that's not the big problem that law of attraction lays at your doorstep. The problem that law of attraction's effect on all things displays to you is not only that unwanted things come to you, because wanted things come to you too, but the big factor that law of attraction plays in your experience is that you often are not a singular, consistent offerer of vibration. You are a source energy being who offers a huge vibrational offering that law of attraction responds to. And then you are this physical human being who is offering a vibration. And when law of attraction responds to those two vibrational offerings, that has the potential of pulling you together if the vibrational offerings are the same, or pulling you apart if the offerings are different. You see how it works? You are love, and when you find someone to hate, and you activate it in your vibration, law of attraction is responding to the love part of you and to the hate part of you. And since they are very different vibrations, you feel the discord. And in fact, that's what hate is. The feeling of hate is the feeling of being split apart. So it's such an interesting thing to watch. You are amazing creators. As contrast serves you exactly like you knew it would and causes you to desire something, and you don't turn in the direction of it and find vibrational alignment with that, but instead you continue to beat the drum of your justification, it pulls you apart. So let's say there's some scoundrel in your experience who is doing you wrong. And everybody agrees with you. Except the scoundrel. In other words, you could go on one of those daytime talk shows and the audience might split down the middle. But often it splits Republican, Democrat, or it splits rich, poor, or it splits male, female. In other words, there are biases that your culture has. So often you can get a partial consensus from the peanut gallery. But let's say that this rascal has wronged you and you know it, and all of the standards that you've learned every day of your life are being amplified here, and that scoundrel, that rascal, has done something really wrong and you know it. Well, in the middle of all of that, you're launching all kinds of rockets of desires about what you prefer. In other words, that experience with that, by your estimation, inappropriate person has caused you, in a very exaggerated way, to expand. They lie to you. You want more honesty. They're irresponsible. You want more responsibility. They're disrespectful. You want more respect. They are unkind. You want more kindness. They are rude. You want them to be nicer. You are rude. You want to be nicer. In other words, all kinds of things are happening from this experience, and you are, whether you know it or not, or whether you even think you like it or not, you're expanding because of this experience, and the larger part of you takes the expansion, becomes more loving, becomes more clear-minded, becomes more prosperous, becomes all of those things. In fact, all of the circumstances and events that are necessary to now give you the improved life experience that you are asking for because of this uncomfortable experience have all come into place. They are spinning in your vibrational escrow, in this vortex of attraction. And in this vortex of attraction, law of attraction is pulling all things necessary for the culmination and the giving to you of exactly what you've been asking for. And as you have more and more exposure to more and more experience, you put more and more over there. So this escrow is expanding, becoming more and more and more and more and more and more and more like you want. But the question is, what are you doing? Well, I'm beating the drum of this rascal. Such an interesting thing. That person aggravated you into expansion, and now you're using the same person and the same aggravating factors as your excuse not to expand. And that's why you're extra mad at that one. Because you're tied together. Can you feel how you're tied together? They are part of your very expansion. And when you use anything that is part of your reason for expansion, also now as your reason not to expand, can you feel how it pulls you apart? You say, oh, I found my soulmate. And we say, how do you know? And you say, because when I met this person, it felt divine. This person said the same thing that I was thinking. We laughed at the same things. We liked the same things. We're soulmates. And we say, maybe. And then you say, and that horrible person over there did me so wrong. I'm sure that person is from the devil. And we say, probably your soulmate. And you say, what? No, Abraham, you've got it all wrong. Nice people would be my soulmate. Bad people are the soulmates of other bad people. And we say, doesn't work like that. Just because you're having issues with someone doesn't mean they're wrong. It means they are a catalyst in your separation from who you are. But do you know, some of your most loving, devoted, soulmate energies that were born with you, intending to interact with you, are those that you are holding at your strongest, most uncomfortable distance. In other words, a lot of those aggravating rascals have come forth with a sort of bargain for you. Let's go forth and aggravate each other into expansion. Sort of what you said. Not one of you said, I'll tell you what, you be the mother and I'll be the child and you feather my nest, and when I get there, have it all ready for me. Not one of you said that. Not one of you. After you get here, you wish that's what you'd said. But not one of you said that. Every one of you said, let's go forth and let's give each other reason for expansion. Now, after you get here, we see your argument. Many of you say, well, I intended to control my contrasting gap better. And that really is the secret here, isn't it? The secret to a good life is controlling your gap. It is being in conscious awareness of the two vibrational aspects of you. And when you are aware of the two vibrational aspects of you, then you can do something about it. So, what you are dealing with and what we can see in every body of people that we interact with is vibrational variance. And what we mean by that is you have desires that are very big within you, but you have beliefs or attitudes or habits of thought that vary. So, in order for you to be shown by law of attraction and all of the resources of the universe a path to the fulfillment of what you want, you got to get on the same vibrational wavelength with what you're asking for. And you can tell you're there when you begin to feel better, when you begin to feel a little relief. Esther will argue from time to time that it's hard. It's hard to have something so beautifully amassing and to have something so different from it in your face. And we say, it isn't hard if you train yourself to look where you're going instead of where you are. That's all you got to do. But you all have come to believe so much in the reality of what is, as if it means so much, and it doesn't. It's just the bouncing off place, and it's so temporary. We really don't get why now matters so. There it went. We really don't get why now, there it went again. We really don't get why now, there it went again. This is going to take a long time. There it went, 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 there it went. And you say, yeah, but it's not that much different now than then, now than then, now than then, now than then, now than then. So my now seems to keep going with me. My now seems to go everywhere I go, and that's why I'm bothered by it. I'm bothered by it because, and we say, it only continues to come with you if you keep the components of it active.